let's just reset this. Okay. We entered an offseason where we had no idea what this roster was going to look like. Trent Frazier, Alfonso Plummer, Jacob Grandison, Austin Hutcherson are gone. Kofi Coburn goes to the draft. Bossman's Verdonk, Andre Curbelo enter the transfer portal. Of course, Grandison does as well. You've added since then Sky Clark, right? I know Ty Rodgers, Jaden Epps, Sincere Harris were all on board, but Ty Rodgers and Jaden Epps seem to have pretty good springs for their own right. Terrence Shannon, a top 20 transfer. Some have him top 10 transfer. Matthew Meyer, top 20 transfer. Dane Danger has been in the program, but now is going to be able to play. And now you add Zachary Perrin. That's some talent, man. Like that's one of the more best resets I've seen in college basketball here recently. Of course, you have the Dukes of the world that can just add 5-star talent. Let's take some solid players elsewhere as veterans. But for a program like Illinois, that is one off season of hitting on a lot of your top targets.
Absolutely. And it is speaking to the opportunity in the transfer portal now. And now that your appeal is higher, being the success that the program's had here recently, the fact that you have Io in the NBA also, and Tim Anderson's reputation for his development. I think the whole staff, Brad Underwood, gets a lot of credit for what they've been able to do with this roster and guys getting better. And yeah, with Terrence and Matthew Meyer to come in as proven commodities, as all league type of players, and can be the focal point of your team. And then you got a really talented freshman core. And I mean, credit to them for loading up a guard, because they knew that they were going to lose Trent and also Plummer. But for something to break as it did with Curbelo, and I know that they were thinking maybe he's not going to be here long term because of NBA prospects and that whole kind of deal. But to load up a guard the way they did, to beat out Michigan State for a Ty Rodgers, and just across the board now, and even for as talented of it's almost July, and you get someone of Zachary Perrin's caliber. Now we got to see it come over to the United States and play out and everything. But like we were saying, I mean, this is not the Matisse Vasile. This is not some of these other international additions they've made in the past.
I mean, I know maybe it didn't fall Michigan's way, but there's Illinois to scoop up Terrence Shannon. They had their own good sell there too, right? Beat North Carolina and Texas Tech for Matthew Meyer, right? Like you beat you beat some really good programs, UCLA, Texas, for Zachary Perrin. Like this is just a different world. And just think, a year ago, Tim Anderson wasn't even on staff yet, Derek, like officially. Like we were hearing the buzz, he's probably gonna be the guy, but wasn't even on. Like that was a dangerous time for this program to potentially lose momentum, right? Like there's a possibility that doesn't go this way. And all of a sudden, Illinois maybe takes a step back, and we're predicting them to go 8th in the Big Ten or something this year. And can they bounce back? Like I have little question, given the talent on the roster, given the way Underwood's been able to develop and adjust. Like this program had a chance to do that. And kudos to Underwood for hiring the right guys and for those guys to produce. Chester, ridiculous on the recruiting trail, especially early. Then Tim Anderson's had the best recruiting year I've ever seen from an Illinois assistant. And now Jeff Alexander gets in on the fun.
Full group effort now. I mean, everybody's contributing. And like you were saying, I mean, Brad deserves a lot of credit for finding the right pieces. There's a way it goes if you don't get Chester Frazier. Say maybe Chester's going to say, I'm going to hang out at Virginia Tech until I get my head coaching gig, and whoever you get next. Not to say, I mean, Illinois had a lot of appeal because of coming off the Big Ten title and all the Big Ten tournament title, the 1 seed, I should say, and the commitment that Josh Whitman made to giving Brad a lot of ammunition to go hire a very good staff. But at the same time, maybe you don't get someone that brings in Jaden Epps and Sincere Harris right off the bat. Maybe you don't get someone that is going to pull Ty Rodgers unexpectedly. And then, oh, by the way, how about Merez Johnson, an early commit, one of the best early pledges for Illinois that they've had in the last decade, if not the best. And then, yeah, I mean, Tim's connection to Matthew Meyer helped out a bunch, and Tim was connected to Terrence Shannon Jr. as well. And yeah, now Jeff Alexander on the international front. So it's really worked, and Brad deserves a lot of credit for that.
I'm glad you brought up Josh Whitman, because you don't stop, right? You don't get complacent. You keep paying. Like when you have something good going, you keep investing in it, and it has paid off. Like he's getting his return for it right now. It's a fun time. We don't know what this is all going to look like on the floor. That's going to be the fascinating next thing that we get to cover at Illini Inquirer. Don't know if you'll be able to see these guys for a while all together. We'll hear some buzz, all that stuff, but it's going to be fun to see how this all develops. So, Derek Piper, thank you as always, man, for weighing in on what I think is the end of this class of 2022, and what an eventful one it was.
Oh yeah, definitely was. We'll round up the pod if it's not. We'll get this thing fired up, emergency style, if it's not. But I'm pretty sure things will calm down. But we'll have plenty to talk about recruiting in July and some buzz that comes out of workouts, and whether Matthew Meyer shows up with a mullet in a couple of weeks when he shows up to town. We still got the fingers crossed for that. Joey's going to be real disappointed if he does not.
Yeah, he had it cut, man. I don't know how long you can grow that hair back there. I'm not an expert on that anymore, so I'm not sure how quickly he can do it. But that's the number one offseason story outside of Noyes or Nogis, that whole debate. We'll figure that out.